Welcome to our season premiere of Money Mondays with Talent Search, where we will talk about money every single Monday through the entire year, how to save money, how to earn money through scholarships and work studies, and how to budget your money. So today is September 28th. We have our FAFSA review. So to kick us off, before we get ready to fill out our FAFSA on October 1st, we first want to talk about who is an independent student and a dependent student. So basically, whose information do you need other than your own to fill out the FAFSA? Maria today is going to talk to us first about who is that independent student.
Yes. Now again, this is typically our most frequent question when completing the FAFSA. So we're going to go through a few situations that you might be familiar with to help understand. So our first independent situation, for example, we have Batman. We all know that Alfred looks after Batman, therefore he is an orphan, he is independent. Batman is independent. Next up, we have our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We all know that he has Aunt May. A similar situation, legal guardianship. He is independent. Spider-Man is independent. All right, we have the Incredibles. So a married couple, they would be considered independent. Now, if you had children of your own that were dependent on you, that would make you independent. Doctor Strange, the genius he is, if you were a graduate or a professional student, that would also make you independent. Now we're looking at homelessness or risk of being homeless. We all know Aladdin. He's been on the streets doing his thing. Independent. We also have Catwoman, another good example. Risk of being homeless. Independent. Captain America, 24 years of age. He's independent. Not to mention, he's a veteran of armed forces. Independent in this example as well.
So if you can answer or relate to any of those, you are independent. Mm-hmm. And so you only need your information to fill out the FAFSA. Mm-hmm. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Take you about 20-30 minutes to fill it out. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now, what if you are not fitting into one of those categories? Well, if you couldn't answer yes to any of those or relate to any of those, you are considered dependent. And so now we're going to review the two scenarios that are dependent. So, adopted parents. Superman. He has been adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent. So, he is dependent. He would use Martha and John's information to help him fill out the FAFSA. Mm-hmm. Okay. Biological parents. Okay. If you're like Merida from Brave, you have a mom and a dad. They will be your people to fill out the FAFSA. If you are like Tiana from Princess and the Frog, you have your mother. You will use her information to fill out your FAFSA. If you are Moana from Moana, you will use her mom and dad to fill out the FAFSA. Now, let's say your parents are not married to each other. Your biological or adopted parents. Whose information do you use? Now, let's say that your parents, your biological parents, are no longer, or adopted parents, are no longer married to each other. Whose information do you use? Well, in this scenario, we're going to use Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. Let's say they want to fill out Pluto's FAFSA, but they are no longer together. Minnie is by herself, and Mickey is now with Daisy Duck. Wom, wom, wom. Whose information should you use? Well, the law states that if Pluto, or the rule states, if Pluto spends 50% of his time, then he can choose either parent. But if Pluto spends more time with Minnie Mouse than with Mickey Mouse, he would have to use Minnie Mouse. But let's just say that Pluto spends 50% of his time with both Minnie and Mickey. Well, in that scenario, he would want to use the set of parents who make the least amount of money. Now, who's the set of parents? Well, in this case, it would either be Minnie Mouse or Mickey and Daisy Duck together. Well, Minnie Mouse makes a lot of money by herself, and Mickey and Daisy Duck together don't make that much. So Pluto's going to choose who? He's going to choose Mickey and Daisy Duck. So now everywhere that there is parent information requested, whether it be birth dates or social security numbers, Pluto is going to use both Mickey and Daisy Duck.
Now, there are a few other scenarios that we run into frequently when helping students and families fill out their FAFSA. One of them, especially this year, given the COVID pandemic, let's say the tax information you're going to be using from last year might not reflect what's really happening in your household right now. Whether someone has lost a job, someone has been laid off, someone could be unemployed. What you are going to be doing, this is not considered a special circumstance. We're going to ask that we complete the FAFSA as instructed. We're going to follow all the steps. After your FAFSA is submitted, we are then going to contact the college or university you plan to attend and start making steps to make sure that information is reflected at that institution which you do plan to attend.
Now, is that called a professional judgment?
Is it? I think it might be a professional judgment. Absolutely. And that's why when you start talking to people who work at that specific college or university, they're going to use their professional judgment to help navigate you through whatever changes might need to be reflected. Now, another scenario that we hear frequently, my parents do not want to provide information on my FAFSA application and are not going to contribute to my college expenses whatsoever. Is this considered a special circumstance? Unfortunately, no. However, in situations where your parent refuses to provide their information on the FAFSA form and refuse to provide you with any financial support, there is an exception that allows the student to submit the FAFSA form without parental information and receive an unsubsidized loan only.
Yes. All right. Well, that wraps it up for today's Money Monday. We hope to catch you next time on our next Monday when we will talk about Morehead State University scholarships. Hope to see you then. Bye, guys.